thank the board of directors, the one that is not here, the one that has been before in this community, and the future board of directors, because what we do here is not only a passion, it's actually it's a commitment towards the wellness of our community. So, as part of the board of directors, I'm asking today management, because we're not done yet, to please find out a solution for translating our board of directors meeting, maybe get an idea of getting somebody volunteer or the companies that do provide translation services with headphones, because that's a solution that this community could benefit from. So therefore we can have English, Spanish, Italian, French, whatever it is, but it has to be done responsibly.
And the voice?
It will be done responsibly at one point. Also, I'd like to make sure that everybody understands that even though we took a community with a lot of issues, we're working very hard. We put in a lot of hours that you don't even imagine. Late nights, early mornings, weekends. And we do this because there's obviously a purpose. My purpose, to secure the wellness of my family and my investments in this community. But also, never had I had so many friends for the last 17 years I've been here, since I got on the board of directors. And I do listen to the community. And I'm here to say thanks because we have two financial experts, a third financial expert, that will work with clarity to bring those financial reports to you. And I'm asking management to please be up to date all the time on posting those financials. For the first time, we have a comprehensive evaluation of our reserve funds that has been presented to the community, where words are coming for the future, not for today. Today we're fine, for the future, so that those projects can be accommodated. And I'm also have to be thankful because we have two additions of current president for 5 years. They know the law. We learn the law. And to be here, we have to know the law. It's not about the language. It's about the financial and legal responsibility that we represent for you.
Right.
Because it is the association that we represent.
Thank you, Raul.
I'm trying to be very short. I know it's very late, 9:30, everybody's tired after
This is early.
Right? Well, for 1 minute early. I'm joining the current board. I can say they are trilingual because you have people speaking English, some of them speak Spanish and Italian, I speak Portuguese. So take a look at the language. Another thing is that U.S. is a country of immigrants. And that's my point of view. One thing to become part of the U.S. is to learn English.
Yes.
And yes. Right?
Yes.
So if you talk, my kids, even though speak Portuguese at home, they speak English among themselves. So I think the English is the language that made everybody here. For example, I work Brazilians, the Portuguese, I think there are people, Americans, there are people from Europe. The common thing that we can communicate among themselves is English. So we should make an effort to speak English.
Exactly.
Nobody did that. And the last thing, everybody talk about financial responsibility. One thing with financial responsibility is that sometimes I understand you may say, oh, why you spend the money doing this or that. The problem that the community didn't know how the project was done, how the 400 and whatever was spent, was a need to understand. That's the reason that had to be done. Because if you don't know what happened, you don't know the history, you're condemned to repeat it. And that's the reason. Sometimes financial controls, internal controls, they cost money. And you have to investigate it. That's part. That's every corporate company, every company has departments and people looking what was done right or wrong. So that's part to have a good, well management, properly on their lives. Okay, thank you.
First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. This has probably been one of the best candidate nights I think I've ever seen in this community. I think I have to go back to reinventing the wheel. I have to go back to the issues of the financial reserves and how we spend money. I mean, that's for sure. But the fact of the matter is that if you want a champagne budget, you can't. If you want everything champagne, you want to do it on a beer budget, you can't do it. You can't do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot sit there and allocate money to projects when you have a reserve study that sits there and says we're 800, we need $800,000 to bring that up to 100%, and that's just right now. We've got a lot of hard choices to make in this community, and I'll be quite frank with you, it's time for everybody to get real. To get real. It's not to sit there and say that we sit there and we don't do things, those type of things. And I have to credit you on the spinning bicycles. 13 spinning bicycles don't cost $100,000. I know that for a fact because I ride a cycle. I think they're around $300,000, $3,000. I think they were around $39,000, $40,000. And I have to say those type of things, even though they cost money, those classes are full. Okay? And I have to say, as a cyclist, and I'm being very personal here, I don't do yoga. I don't do any of the other classes, but those classes are available also. Okay? But just to get back, we have got to make some really hard choices. I've gone round and round with this man right here, the 2 years I was on the board. I went round and round with Edna because she was on the board. Okay? But the fact of the matter is we are friends. We agree to disagree. But we've got respect for one another. Yeah. And that's basically the way it is. But I'll be quite frank with you. Sometimes it doesn't happen. That's the way of the world. Period, bottom line. That's why for me saying no to something that doesn't make sense right now, but it may make sense 5 years from now. You have to put it out, you have to put it out there, you have to come to the reality of the situation. And I have to go back to $800,000 in reserves. How, I'm asking, just go home and ask, how do we pay for that? Do we sit there and cut services? Okay. How do we do it?
Thanks, Steve.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Well, if anything that's clear to me is that democracy is a very inefficient and messy process. But it really works for this country. And in the same way, it works for Doral ISLES. The ultimate responsibility is yours. You choose your representatives in the sense that they're going to do what you want them to do. And you hope always that those people will operate in good faith. It's all that can happen. And I don't speak Spanish very well, so I'm not going to even try to translate. So again, it's an incredibly interesting process, and everybody who lives here in Doral ISLES knows we're never going to have 100% agreement about anything. It's just the nature of the beast here, and probably the nature of the beast in politics in general. But I think obviously this has been a very healthy activity. Unfortunately, it's only healthy for the people that attend and who may see this on a video or whatever. And I'm afraid that in most cases, that only represents a small minority of the people who live here. So let's hope we actually do get 20% of the vote. So we actually do institute a board for the coming year. Thank you.
That concludes our meeting for this evening. Thank you all very much for coming. Thank you for all the participants and all the candidates. And hope to see all of you at the annual meeting this upcoming Thursday. Thank you very much.